Good morning friends. Team NGOenabler have come up with yet another important video which will provide you clarity on one of the burning issues even after 4 years have passed since the amendment was brought in FCRA 2010. Can commercial contracts be awarded for implementation of activities to NGOs? I repeat, can commercial contracts be awarded for implementation of activities to NGOs? As usual, before we start, let me give you a brief background about this topic. Post amendments in FCRA, sub-granting has been completely stopped. The grassroots NGOs who are the most affected, which were acting as implementing agency for many FCRA registered NGOs and who used to be the partner with them for executing the project at the grassroots level. But once the amendment was in effect, it seems the only source of funding for such NGOs was also gone and they were left with almost no work. Here comes the idea of getting into commercial contracts with larger NGOs or directly with the donors. But is it legal? Is it permissible under FCRA? Is it aligned with the exemption conditions under Section 12AB of the Income Tax Act? Will not GST be applicable on such contracts? And a lot more questions need to be first answered before the organization, both the one who wants to give the contract and the other who wants to offer such service, thinks of getting into the commercial contract. Let's move on to the topic. It is being contemplated by many FCRA registered organizations that the program can still be implemented through old partner organizations by awarding them service contracts. In our opinion, it's not possible to do so. I repeat, it's not possible to do so. The service contracts are usually given to the vendors for rendering specific service or goods which are required for implementation of the program, and not the entire program can be outsourced to the NGO as if it is the vendor. The reason is any outsourcing of charitable activity, I repeat, any outsourcing of charitable activity might be treated as a colorable device to evade the amended FCRA law. I again repeat, any outsourcing of charitable activity might be treated as a colorable device to evade the amended FCRA law. Even if it has to be done, certain important pointers need to be considered and kept in mind. First, the program to be in the nature of commercial contract, there should be a client and service provider relationship, not a donor and donee relationship. Similar services must be provided by the latter to even other parties on same commercial terms and must be a regular service given by it. It should not be a one-time service to the partner NGO. Second, the NGO providing such service can do commercial activity to the tune of only 20% of the total receipts, and such activities should be incidental to the main object. I repeat, such activities should be incidental to the main object. Third, the payment should be on the basis of the invoice raised for deliverables, and it should not be obligatory for the partner NGO to provide the utilization of funds at any stage of the program. Last, the GST implications might be there on such service contracts for the partner NGOs if the total contract value exceeds the threshold limit under the relevant act. Though the nature of activities might remain charitable in nature because only the way of executing things is changing, the exemption might not be in danger. Also, just because the GST registration is taken, it doesn't make the entire activity as commercial one unless the conditions of section 11 and 12 are not fulfilled. Let me also touch upon this topic in the context of foreign donor. Can foreign donor work with the unregistered NGOs in India against commercial contracts? In our opinion, no, they cannot and should not. All commercial activities with foreign entities are actually governed by FEMA, the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, and the foreign donor can work in India only under two circumstances: either by way of grants for approved and permissible projects directly with FCRA registered organizations, or by opening its own liaison office in India after approval of RBI, that is the Reserve Bank of India, under the FEMA regulations. No other option can be explored by the foreign donor to be able to work in India. I repeat, no other option can be explored by the foreign donor to be able to work in India. So to summarize today's discussion, it is not advisable to work on commercial contracts under FCRA with other NGOs because it can be considered equivalent to subgranting and even otherwise unless all tax implications and documentation requirements has been taken into consideration. Also, it's not advisable to work on commercial contracts even as per Income Tax Act unless such services are incidental to the main objects and does not exceed 20% of the total receipts for such NGOs. Needless to mention, GST plays another big role and an additional compliance burden shall be there on the NGO just because of these commercial contracts. I hope I have been able to provide clarity now, especially to the FCRA registered organizations regarding entering into commercial contracts with either the partner NGOs or the foreign donors directly for the implementation of any project. For more such updates and tutorials, keep tuned to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe it and put your notifications on. You can also follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram and Twitter. Thank you.